Welcome to Blue Buddha Productions presents the Zoom Sessions. The show is hosted by Eliot Goldstein. Today we have an exciting guest who is sure to captivate you with his incredible contributions to the world of music. Join me in welcoming Mr. Thorsten Quaeschning, the current leader of the renowned band Tangerine Dream. As a visionary composer, producer, and performer, Thorsten's influence in the electronic music genre has been nothing short of remarkable. Known for pushing boundaries and embracing cutting-edge technologies, he has crafted ethereal soundscapes and mesmerizing melodies that leave audiences in awe. Beyond his musical talents, Thorsten is also an advocate for collaboration and mentorship, inspiring aspiring artists to explore their own creativity. Today, we'll delve into Thorsten's artistic journey, from his early inspirations to his current role as the driving force behind Tangerine Dream. Get ready for a thought-provoking and inspiring conversation as we uncover the unique insights that fuel his creativity. Let the musical odyssey begin. We want to thank you, our listeners, for your support in making this podcast possible. Blue Buddha Productions is listener-funded, and your contributions allow us to continue bringing you remarkable content like this. If you would like to support us, you can donate through PayPal at eliot.bluebuddhaproductions@gmail.com. Remember, there is only one L and one T in Eliot. Your generosity helps us create more transformative experiences for you to enjoy. Thank you for being a part of our journey. Now, let's immerse ourselves in the extraordinary world of the Zoom sessions with your host Eliot Goldstein, brought to you by Blue Buddha Productions.
Welcome. This is about you today. I am so honored to be speaking to you.
Thanks for having me.
The history of Tangerine Dream is pretty much established. We know the roots of Tangerine Dream. Virgin days, before they got to Virgin Records, it was a whole different, when Klaus Schultz was in the band, it was entirely different than the Tangerine Dream that pretty much became the staple of what people know Tangerine Dream to be. It was, it was a whole different sound. You came into the band later on in the Tangerine Dream story, but they obviously influenced you. Your music, you're just perfect for Tangerine Dream. And I don't think Edgar could have picked a better heir apparent than you.
Thank you so much for this. So I have normally, before I had a classical background, classic music, and some progressive rock like Van der Graaf Generator, King Crimson, Old Genesis, yes. Green Slide, and a little bit goth rock. So that's and now post-rock. And so he looked for a synth player with so many parameters, like you have to use Cubase and several some special synths and software, and so they invited, as long as I know, 3 people or so. Well, we're looking for 3 people, and I stayed, and this is the day before yesterday. It's 20 years now for me. It's unbelievable.
Yes, yeah. People don't realize it. You're the number 2 man.
Time-wise, yes.
outside of Edgar, you've been there the longest.
Yeah, and really love album like Zeit and Atem, and there was a funny quote from one of my favorite bands, Sigur Rós from Iceland. They prefer Tangerine Dream, and now the quote, before the sequences came in. so they stopped loving it after 74, but really enjoy albums like Zeit and Atem. Right.
Yeah. And those albums are, they're classics, but then there's like Stratosphere and Phaedra. And
Ricochet.
That's the sound that people created Tangerine Dream with. Mm-hmm. That's the Tangerine Dream sound, and so you step into the role after the passing of Edgar, and those are big shoes to fill, and you're doing an amazing job. I just want to, how do you feel about having that responsibility now?
Oh, this is a hard task. So it was never my decision. So I'm not the one. I'm going to do this. No, it was planned long time before. So Edgar was a human, the person that always had plans for every scenario that could happen and thought about things. And one of the important things is that the music and the philosophy and the idea behind Tangerine Dreams should live forever, or as long as is possible. And so it's there are several rules. There's ideas about scales and when you better have more space or more silent parts. And so I never made really electronic music before, so I think that was a good thing for that part. I'm not filling in because I was stepping in because I learned everything about electronic music. I was a normal synth player in bands. So about programming sequences, programming step sequences, patching modular systems, everything like this or that, I learned from Edgar himself. And this is like the big master, and this is unbelievable. So it's a hard task, and you never can please anyone. I know this, and Edgar knew this as well. So you have to surprise people, you have to tease people sometimes, and I think it's 70, 80, 90 studio albums. It depends which one you count in. Sure. And but overall, it's including soundtracks and everything is 150 albums, and it's so related to the history of electronic music, history of instruments, and taking care of the heritage and of the idea. It's not always easy, but I try my best to do this as good as I can.
Well, the albums that you navigated are incredible. I mean, they're incredible albums. I think even if they didn't have the Tangerine Dream stamp on them, people would still love them. But I just think that you're doing a great job just carrying the tradition. So, how do you plan on honoring and preserving that sound? You know, I know the musicians that are involved with you now are incredible, and that must be really, a difficult task. But Tangerine Dream's always been known to lose a member and gain a new member.
Yeah. And every new member has a slightly, but if you see it from 10 years perspective, kind of huge impact because tiny things are changing. Everyone is to kind of the idea is to serve the music and serve the heritage, but bringing the best in the band that you can. And what's your strength? Just do it, and there's enough room for everything.
Okay, well, it's your task now. So how are you going to, what kind of creative vision do you see for the members there now and any future members?
So there's kind of a plan, but that phase is about going back to electronic sequencer-driven music without the guitars, percussion, saxophone. Just going back to the core of the idea of Tangerine Dream, but including trying to find contemporary sounds, maybe new sounds. The next chord progression that it's not played yet, which is not as easy. But trying to sequencer-based music with a contemporary sound approach. And the feel is like in an orchestra, so there's no very loud solo and melody instrument inside the mix and concerts. So it's like an orchestra, and everyone has a kind of a fixed role inside the orchestra to fill the space of their frequencies or frequency frames.
Okay.
And there is the idea that we need, in some years, we have time now, but we need someone younger, because I'm not sure how long. So maybe I have 30 years from now, 40 when it's good.
Well,
But the idea is to it should go on, and so
Tangerine Dream has a life of its own.
Yeah.
Okay.
The idea is kind of the heart, the pumping heart, and the blood, and the soul.
Yeah. Well, that's the dream. The dream is always the same.
And never two on the different side of the coin.
Right. But I just mean the same. It's the whole.
Yeah. I know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
The concept will continue, which is
Yeah.
which is a beautiful it's a beautiful tribute to to the band. The band's been so far ahead of the curve for all these years, and everybody's been kind of catching up.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Thank you.
where's it? Where do you have any plans on where it's going to go now? Any direction? Any ideas?
So I think on the last album we find that I think it's also very related to Paul's synth playing, because he's a very staccato-esque player. He plays very short notes, very rhythm notes. So it was more room for everyone. There was more air between the notes, and this is maybe to tidy some things up. It's not about so it's maybe a little bit braveness that not every sound should be layered with 20 or 30 other sounds. So to have one sound that stands for its own, this could be the task for the next album or albums. So more that you hear singing melodies with space.
So be more like the old sound.
Yeah. It's the free form and the rolling idea of the 70s with kind of a melody approach of the 80s, but combined with more rhythmic things, more.
And the saxophones are gone.
Yeah.
Good.
So
Good.
yeah, thank you. So I was never a big fan of saxophone per se, because it's not my type of instrument, to be honest.
It didn't fit with the band. It didn't fit with the band. It just wasn't. It just didn't seem right. Anyway, that's what I think. I love saxophones for a funk band, but not for Tangerine Dream.
Yeah.
So
I think my best experience with saxophone player, I think it's a very weird story, but I saw a Tina Turner concert, and there was a very Beach Boy-esque saxophone player wearing kind of chain.
Yeah.
And I didn't like him so much. I didn't like him so much.
Yeah.
I don't like that instrument. I think it was the first concert I saw was Tina Turner, and it was so. I probably was close to gothic rock in that part of my life. So it was kind of the inverted person.
I remember that guy. He said that he used to run around with no shirt and the sax with the big chains.
Yeah. And it was so ungoth.
So, are you going back to analog sounds, or are you going to stick with?
Yeah, sure. So there's here's some modular stuff and the analog stuff and a Moog, and so but we are combining things. So there's no kind of a fixed rule for instruments. So I think the idea you can use everything to come as close to the sound you hear in the head before you try to produce it.
Okay.
So it could be analog, it could be virtual analog, it's like digital, FM, granular. Just we try everything. I really love the analog stuff, and for sequences. So I'm sometimes doing this, but so if I have the opportunity to use a tweak a knob, it's much better than a mouse or an iPad or
Yeah, it is. And
if you're feeling better tweaking these knobs, you probably have a better time and a better feeling to just tweak that knob 30 minutes more than you would do it in a computer, or 2 years more, or 2 days. So and if you're feeling right and enjoying the process of finding the sound, you maybe even find a better note playing and composing it.
Okay. Does everybody contribute about the same amount of input to Tangerine Dream now, or the writing style and things like that?
So Raum was the first album. Hoshiko was more involved than before. And it was great to have the she plays acoustic violin, but also a 5-string violin, which is a viola violin, something in between, and many loops, and then we are kind of scatter that loop in software, but also using Moog filters on it, and it was a good experience to combine everyone involved in the music. That it's maybe also good for team building, and it is good for team building, that everyone has a feeling that every person inside is heard inside the music and could compose and play how much things they want. So there's no rule, one person, 1/3. So we just compose and then we cut it down.
And she did a beautiful album with a mutual friend of ours, Geraldo.
Yeah,
Geraldo Bernocchio. Yeah, that album she did with him is beautiful.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I have to thank Geraldo. He connected us. Geraldo gave me your information. So Anyway, I know you guys are going on a tour now.
Yeah, so it's 3 months of touring in a row. So I think it's 6 days at home from September till end of November. And in September we were going to be playing the States and Canada.
Yeah, and you haven't been here in a while.
I think we played 2008. We played only Los Angeles, and 13 we played the GTA 5 concert, and in 14 was the last tour. I think, States,
And it wasn't an extensive tour; it was a short tour.
I'm not sure, like 6 West Coast, 6 East Coast, something.
Yeah, it was a very short
this
tour.
Time, and this time it's 19 concerts. Is right? I think 19.
Yeah, and you've picked some, off center venues. I mean, you're coming to New Mexico, which when you come to New Mexico, I'd like to take you out to dinner. That's my invitation. Great. Okay, I owe you a dinner.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
We played also Texas South by Southwest Festival this March. Yeah. As a kind of a
precursor.
And it worked quite well. So we were very, very exciting to do this in the whole month. I think it's 30 days.
Yeah, now
19 concerts.
The three of you are all located in different locations.
We all live in Berlin.
Oh, you're all in Berlin now. Okay.
Yeah. And that's easy. Not the same district, but it's easier. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah, and are you gonna have your equipment shipped over, or are you gonna?
Partly. So I think the modular system is going there by flight cargo, and the Moog. Hopefully, I got some Moogs from Moog Music and Michelle.
Yeah.
And so a mixture of everything. But I really, love to bring my modular system and some of the special things you can't buy or rent
Sure,
as
sure.
easy. Yeah.
And is there a light show, or you do any kind of shows? Because I know
Yeah.
last time I saw, when I saw Tangerine Dream initially, it was just a dark black stage with some white lights shooting over the heads of the players, and that was it.
Yeah, we normally have visuals and light, and that's the idea because I'm not the best entertainer on stage. I don't like things like how you feel and I can't hear you. So I have a white synth set. Even the stands and everything is white. I have a white Voyager and white cases for the modular system. So the visual person and sound and light persons can beam on my set because I'm always a black. So everything looks different from track to track, like a theater play, and this is great.
Wow, it is going to be great. So all the stuff will be shipped over, and the tour starts in early September.
I think 5th in Miami. I think.
Yeah. And it's probably one of the longest tours Tangerine Dream's been on.
I think Tangerine Dream never played more. I think we played 60 concerts this year. We already played a lot. Wow. So this never happened before.
No. And I know the set goes back to vintage Tangerine Dream music too, right? You're covering like the history of the Dream?
Absolutely, yeah. So it's not easy to perform or recreate tracks before 74. I think they never were meant to be re-performed after it. So it was more like the mood in the room. They were playing and composing it. But I think Phaedra is the first album that is going to be on the set list.
Right.
Or not the whole album, but tracks.
Sure.
And from that on, we play, short Stratosphere, Ricochet, Rubicon. Rubicon is very long. That's a problem. Rubicon is the first part. Even if you played a little bit shorter, we played it sometimes it was 25 minutes, and you don't always have 4 hours for you until the curfew. So Rubicon is quite hard. But then we play definitely things from Sorcerer and maybe Force Majeure, and then some things from the 80s. I think till 86, and then as agreement inside the group now, we skipping very much the 90s.
Okay. I'm okay with that.
Yeah. and some new stuff after.
Good.
I think,
Good.
So, but we're skipping from 88 till 2003, 2005. Probably it's not going to happen the next years that we play something.
And how long are the shows? Do you have them?
I think it differs a little bit. As normal, we play in Europe. We play 2:15 plus session, could be close to 3 hours.
Wow.
I think it's not always allowed to play as long as this. So around 2 hours, maybe 2:50 is like
Okay. Yeah.
2 hours 15, something like that.
Yeah, we have the unions in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have to be off the stage at 11, I think, or something like that.
Yeah. So probably 2 hours. I don't think that we have support acts. So not so many times. I think that 2 or 3.
Oh, okay.
But so we can play a little bit longer.
Sure.
Because we are alone.
That's great. And you're looking forward to those long shows?
Absolutely. I'm really enjoying this because at the end of every concert, as kind of the encore, we are playing a thing called real-time composition. We call it a session because it's more than improvising because there are rules for everything. So this is in the moment created sequencer and ambient music. And this is so much fun. And sometimes there are stage managers with blinking flashes in my hair before my face. You have to stop, please. You have to stop now. But it's so much fun. So sometimes we play this normal like 20 to 40 minutes, but it's fun to play this 1.5 hours as well.
That's great. Wow.
Yeah.
So how do you balance your solo artistic world with Tangerine Dream? Because I know they're, they sometimes they don't, they're not the same. Some of the stuff, a lot of your solo work, incredible stuff. I have your entire catalog, by the way. Your solo music as well.
Thank you.
Isn't Tangerine Dreamish? It's a whole different world.
Yeah, and it's clear from moment number one. So there's no single track where when it's done, and after this, it's gonna be the decision if it's Tangerine Dream, my solo stuff, or other projects. It's clear from moment one for which project or band I'm composing. So it is sometimes hard to balance. So most problems time-wise, the biggest problem, and then release structures. So it would be it's sad and kind of based business side of the thing, but it makes no sense to release one solo stuff and Tangerine Dream stuff in the same month or the same.
Sure.
So I have to look for this, and sometimes I work with Schiller, which is a big act in Germany. I think it's 8 albums in a row on #1 album charts, regular album charts.
Wow.
And this is great. This is a big venue. It's like Waldbühne. It's like the 20,000 people venue. It's great. And then in the last times, I also played the concert with them with Steve Rothery from Marillion.
Okay. That's right. Right. And I have that in front of me. You're actually doing an album with them now, right?
Yeah. This is great, and this is the first guitar player who asked me for a MIDI on CV clock to clock his tremolo.
Oh wow!
So it was kind of a big moment for me. It's like, I really like that guitar player. His tremolo is in time to my sequence, and
wow, it's great.
No, it's an unbelievably good guitar player. He has the feel for hook line-ish guitar melodies, not always shredding, not always playing too much or too fast. It's very tasteful, and and in a strange world, I'm sometimes doing some dark stuff as well with Attila from he sings. It's called Sun. It's written Sun O, but it's called Sun Mayhem, and there's a project as well. And but I really love to do some slightly different things. I think my solo stuff is a little bit more post-rockish, more slightly distorted, and different phrases, and not using the Tangerine Dream scales and rules.
Right. Now you sent me a little note that you're working on your first real solo album. Yeah. What does that mean? Because I know you have solo albums.
Yeah. No, the first 10 years was called. It was a band called Picture Palace Music. It was the first idea was to play new soundtracks to old silent movies, and we did this also like live performances in cinemas. And mostly it's very related to something. So Remnants was a movie soundtrack as well. Armor, the last album, was an album for contemporary dance theater. But I started it in 2016, 17. This is an electronica album including a string quartet.
Okay.
And this is, I try to be or sound very different from everything I did before, because everything else would be boring to sound always the same. It's very structured, more minimal, maybe a little bit more rhythmic, but with very Nordic country string quartet, where you hear every single line inside the quartet thing, and there's I'm not sure what's the right word. This is kind of a spread tuning. You have you leave in normal quartet. It's more close in like chord structures, and if you just skip one step, it's more brighter, more wider, and it's the idea to make it more Scandinavian sound.
Okay.
At least the strings.
Sure. Well, I have a friend, Scandinavian, Nils Molvad. Are you familiar with Nils?
I'm not sure.
Trumpet player.
Okay, but I'm not good in names. That's my biggest problem. I'm very good in numbers, but names are my problem.
Okay, I'm going to send you a couple of his cuts. You check it out.
It would be great.
Scandinavian horn player. He's incredible. He's worked with Bill Laswell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and anyway, okay, so you're doing the album with Steve Rothery. That's going to be a whole new. That's a whole new concept album for you.
Yeah, that's just true. There's just a mixture of everything. So we there was nothing prepared before. So we sometimes in his studio and then he came here for some weeks to join me in that studio. It was such a pleasure to write music with him, and but it always takes time. His schedule is so full, doing all the marine shows. My schedule was full too. So, but it started 4 years ago. But there are good chances that it's going to be released next year.
Oh, great, cool. And is there a new Tangerine Dream album coming?
We are starting after the tour, so maybe. So maybe 2 or 3 weeks after the tour, because 3 weeks, 3 months in a row in the same bus, or in 3 different buses. But it's So maybe with end of December, where we start in January. I think it's more likely that we are starting in January to record and compose a new album. So there are ideas, existing ideas will be recorded over the last month. But like a focused situation of doing nothing but this. I think the next concerts in 2024, I think, are earliest end of March, April. So we have around 3 months time to focusing on only composing. Okay. This was actually the best thing, if there is a good thing about the lockdown and pandemic time. COVID, that we had just kind of 10 months just focusing on an album, recording an album, without having to tour or play that weekend festival season, which is so great if you are there. But it's always, I need my gear, and from Berlin to Spain is 2 days, sometimes Portugal 3 days, and you have to pack all the stuff on Thursday. That is right there on time on Saturday. Then it's coming back on Monday, and then you are trying to deal with yourself that you build it up for just 48 hours, and then pack it again and send it to. So this was good last year, the year 21, 22.
And festivals are huge in Europe. They're the
absolutely. There's a whole summer season as festivals normally.
That seems to be the it's better than social media, getting your music in front of people, doing festivals. Now, how do you guys do social media? Are you terrible?
I'm not a pro at it at all. So I'm trying to post photos. But we're probably not so good in it. I think Hoshiko's the best doing this. She has a good. She knows where the emojis are.
Does she? Okay.
At least this.
That's funny. She's very quiet though.
I have my routines, and so I'm doing very, very basic things. Like I like bicycles, and I play tennis twice a week if it's okay. I love driving boats. So sometimes I'm not so good in socializing, but sometimes I'm on the other hand, on other days I'm enjoying it so much. But
and you have a lot on your shoulders. You're the go-to guy for Tangerine Dream now.
Yeah. So if something didn't work, it's normally my face that
Yeah.
it's responsible for it. Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah. So
Now is Edgar's family still involved with Tangerine Dream, or
yeah, his widow Bianca is doing
Bianca?
management. Yeah, and
Okay.
part of the artworks, and this is great. So
Yeah.
we phone regularly and seeing each other regularly, and it works quite well.
Right. Because she was very involved with the original, you know, artwork and everything else. I remember.
Mhm.
Right. She used to do a lot of
Yeah.
artwork for the album covers and things.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And how's the new album doing? It's a great album.
So now we'll come in the world of numbers.
Yeah.
Which is so I'm very proud about this because it's the best chart entry ever for Tangerine Dream in Germany. It was on 39. White Eagle was on 41.
Wow.
And I think we have 4 weeks #1 UK dance charts and performed very well in UK and in Germany, and this is great. So it was and it's also it's a progress from Quantum to Recurring Dreams to Realm. Better chart positions, a little bit longer. It's great.
It's a brilliant album.
Thank you, and we have the luck that people are buying vinyl in our world, and so but it's a different track order because I think it would be a social. So this is my maybe or our social media or streaming platform skills that we are knowing that the 22-minute song on track #1 on a streaming playlist wouldn't work at all.
Sure.
So this is for people who has still record players, and the vinyl starts with track. The first side A is one track, and side D is also only one track, and we are loving this.
Wow.
Yeah, without index points, which would be so much more intelligent on many levels because you would have more clicks counted, but why?
Yeah. It's all streaming now, right?
Yeah,
it all has to do with streaming. Yep.
Yeah.
So you came from a musical family. Your whole family was classically trained.
There was an uncle who played viola in the opera. My what was it? Godmother was playing clarinet. Her husband was a professor for composing and piano in Berlin. Yeah, so there was always a piano somewhere in the room, and I played also violin in the radio orchestra in my youth. And,
oh, really?
I played baroque flute, classical flutes, piano, and I really like playing instruments. I played drums in the jazz and in the swing band as well.
You're a pretty accomplished guitar player as well.
Yeah, but only my words. So I'm not good in bendings because maybe because I don't hear music often with bending. So I'm not hearing Clapton for. But I really like The Edge, Robert Smith, Cure guitar style, and all the post-rock guys with a tremolo picking.
Sure.
I think I can do this quite good, but I'm not good in Van Halen-esque soloing and tapping and things like this. But because I never was interested in training this.
Well, that's how Edgar played, the way you play. It was all straight.
Yeah, Edgar's is very, very own sound. It's it's not the best sound maybe, but it doesn't matter. So if you hear Edgar, you know it's Edgar's. Like a little bit like Santana's. You always hear Santana. You always hear the rhythm guitars of ZZ Top because they are sounding so different to others. Right. And you hear the Edge if you're playing or the 8-dot. Rhythm and single notes, and that's great.
But Edgar played guitar like he played synthesizer.
Yeah, very emotional. But he played
It was all
definitely
it was all melody.
all melody, but he on guitar he used blues notes and not on synths.
Okay. So, Picture Palace music. You discussed that really
Mhm.
early, but I have, I think, 5 different albums. Is that what is out there?
Yeah, could be. So
Yeah,
yeah.
there's nostalgia. There's some of the blues
Whoa!
tunes. Yeah,
Nostalgia is
yeah,
this was the first. This is even not real printed.
yeah. I
I
have
think.
I have a
Great.
digital copy of that.
Okay. Yeah.
Cargo is the last one.
Yeah. 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 Cargo was
So
the
yeah,
soundtrack
I
as
have
well.
5. So,
Okay.
I think 2006 to 2018, you worked on that project, and
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cargo. Yeah, that's true. But Cargo was a mixture of solo and picture-based
right,
music.
okay, and then you worked with the Schnauz or Schnauz.
Yeah. Ulrich Schnauz. It's synthwaves.
Yep.
This was fun. We recorded this in very short time because we needed a break composing, producing Quantum Gate for Tangerine Dream, and just doing something very different, more 80s related. So it was just the feeling we have to do something different for 3 weeks or 4 weeks, and this was synthwaves, and this worked very well.
It was a great album too, by the
Yeah,
way.
thank you. Yeah.
I have the Seaside stage sessions.
Yeah.
There was the Munich session and Olokino.
Mhm. Yeah.
Which
These are all concerts, like sessions played with music composed in the moment. So this why I said maybe my first real solo studio album, because it's composed complete in the studio and not on stage, and without that it's going to be a ballet music or contemporary dance music or film music. It's just music created in the studio. So I never did this as a solo artist.
right.
And
Now, what I did yesterday, actually, Saturday, I was starting to put together some notes because I know I'm going to be speaking to you. I put on my Spotify. I listened to you all day. It was like a 20-hour marathon, and it just the day went by so quick. It was just an amazing day of music, and it's time. I really think. I think Tangerine Dream's in for a great future. I'm glad you're the man running the ship. You know,
hopefully.
I'm glad you're the captain. There's a lot happening, and so you have a lot going on. You have your solo projects. You have your Tangerine Dream projects. You have a tour coming up. You have a new album coming up. You have collaborations, right? Yeah. So you have a pretty full plate there. And
absolutely, and sometimes we will see. I really like working. So I love working. So it's and being in the studio. Absolutely, and sometimes it's not the romantic side that you're always the composer and you have ideas in every moment. Sometimes you just have to wait for it, and then when the idea is there or present in the air, you have to be there to record it. So I'll try to be as long as the studio. It's at 400 meters from the place I live, so it's easy. Yeah.
Okay.
It's an old barber shop.
Is it?
Yeah.
You're in the studio here, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's your white equipment back there.
Yeah.
That's I see it.
Maybe it's.
I see.
Yeah.
It.
So it's much bigger.
You're right. My left. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
And behind that curtain is the 80s section of synthesizers. Yeah.
Wow. Well, incredible. And that's in Berlin.
Yeah, it's very close to the new airport.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So, does anybody else use the studio, or is that just for
just Paul and Hoshiko? And but no, I think it's better. There's always problems with sharing studios and instruments, and
okay.
Yeah, I think it's good to have it
And I was amazed to look at your instrument list on your website.
Yeah, I think it's, so there was the idea that it's also a T-shirt with it. So normally you have the tour dates on the back, but I think it would be fun, like 80s record vinyl cover, to just have a list of the instruments we used on the album or on the tour.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
quite amazing. And you're bringing a lot of equipment out on the road.
Yeah.
Because I know I've spoken to a lot of electronic players, and everybody's trying to gear down, make everything smaller.
Yeah, but maybe it's smarter to do this. So if someone plugging out the power of the modular system 30 minutes before the concert, this is a big problem for me because I have to tune, I think, about 30 oscillators, and they have to be in a stable temperature, and sometimes they're drifting too much. And but I really love this. So I have some digital synths as well on stage to be safe. But I really love the idea that everything can happen and that because we are creating music from the moment on stage, it's good to have my parts of my equipment on stage. I'm
of
just
course.
It feels so much better.
Yeah. Plus, especially at festivals.
Yeah, and we are maybe not the most loved festival band when it comes to schedule and times, because we need 2 hours for setup, and other acts have sometimes a laptop and they need 10 minutes, and for a festival they're much better. But I also like to have this stuff, and then we are probably the first for setup at 6 o'clock in the morning, but it's okay for us.
Right, and do you have a big crew that goes out with you?
Yeah, around 8 to 15 people, 3 on stage, 3 backliners, visuals, sound, lights, driver, merchandise, tour management.
Well, and who's doing the tour? Who's your promoter?
This is Darren, and the names. Is this family?
Okay.
Without Darren from family and another promoter.
Okay.
I will write you the name after it. So
you're better at numbers. You're better at numbers.
Yeah. This is Michael Barbier. He's from Canada. Not really sure. Yeah, but okay. But yeah.
Don't worry about it. That's okay. So I'm looking forward to meeting you.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. And so I have the tour. I have the whole schedule. I do a radio show too. So I've been talking up the tour for the last couple of weeks. I'm going to, keep promoting it because I can't wait. I just think it's great that, the dream's still out there.